We were the ones defending him. Then this person who called our president, collective president, that's the president God gave us, called him a drug dealer, you make him your spokesman. Then Bayo Ononuga tries to rationalize. It's just ridiculous, Charles.
I mean, what is your main gripe? Is it that Mr. Bwala's appointment is bad for the president's image and his PR, or is it that...
This channel not only feed your eyes with good news, we also bring you the hottest and the newest trends around the world. My darlings, sit tight and enjoy this one.
And so Daniel Bwala invokes that overarching principle of the right of reply, his response to that explosive interview we had on this program last week with the lawyer and former member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Jesutega Onokpasa. But Mr. Bwala has decided not to personally come into the studio himself. He's nominated the lawyer Emmanuel Anene to speak on his behalf. And there's a lot to respond to, isn't there? Chief of which is Mr. Onokpasa's assertion that President Tinubu stabbed his supporters in the back with what he called the ridiculous, meaningless and inexplicable appointment of Daniel Bwala as one of his top media advisors. The same Daniel Bwala, he says, had once referred to the president as a drug dealer who was unfit for office. How could the president take such a job away from those who campaigned for him and give it to Mr. Bwala, who campaigned against him? Take a listen to a snippet of Mr. Onokpasa speaking on prime time last week.
How do you call a president of a country a drug dealer? I mean, Daniel Bwala is a lawyer. He has no evidence, not a shred of evidence, that our president is a drug dealer. He called him a drug baron. Then how does a president now appoint such a person? We were the ones defending him. Then this person who called our president, collective president, that's the president God gave us, called him a drug dealer, you make him your spokesman. Then Bayo Ononuga tries to rationalize. It's just ridiculous, Charles.
I mean, what is your main gripe? Is it that Mr. Bwala's appointment is bad for the president's image and his PR, or is it that the jobs are being taken away from Mr. Tinubu's supporters who campaigned for him like yourself and being given to people like Mr. Bwala who campaigned against him, or is it both?
First of all, not all of us want appointment. Not all of us need appointment.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what your gripe is. Right.
It's just the insult that our president seems to take us for granted. He does not feed us. I've never gone to Tinubu's house to sit and start waiting for him to give me anything. Never. There are those who do that. Not all of us do that. Some of us just love, and for me, in fact, I even like the president as if he's a family member. I don't know why, and that is why it's really, really hot. That my president just behaved as if he can stab anyone in the back, disgrace anyone, humiliate anyone. I mean, I don't trust him anymore. I'm sorry.
And that's Jesutega Onokpasa there. Well, tonight Daniel Bwala gets his right of reply through his nominated representative, the lawyer Emmanuel Anene, who joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Charles, for the first time.
Yeah,
and good evening, Nigerians.
Yeah, welcome to the program. I wonder why Mr. Bwala chose you to speak on his behalf and decided not to come in himself and defend his corner.
Even our constitution is very, very apt when he said any person who is accused of anything has right to defend himself or by a lawyer of his choice.
So you're his lawyer then?
Yes, that's his constitutional right. He can either exercise the right to come here or...
Well, I was just curious, that's all.
So there's nothing to worry about.
Right, okay. So you've got the right of reply on behalf of Mr. Bwala, so fire away.
Yes. Just like the interview you just played, he said Daniel Bwala called Mr. President drug dealer, drug baron. I want to put it on record that Daniel Bwala never in any way, in any forum, called Mr. President drug dealer or drug baron. He's a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, Daniel Bwala is a lawyer. You are an investigative journalist. You should ask him to produce a video clip, audio clip, or in written form wherein Daniel Bwala called Mr. President a drug dealer. If you want to call Mr. President a drug dealer, he said lawyers deals with evidence. There is no shred of evidence according to him. Then let him provide that shred of evidence wherein Daniel Bwala referred to Mr. President as a drug dealer. If you want to call Mr. President as a drug dealer or drug peddler, he should not hide under Mr. President's appointment to call him names. He said he's a supporter of Mr. President. Mr. President is looking for somebody to articulate his policy, somebody to market his policies to Nigeria. He's not looking at this point. Mr. President is not looking for a supporter. He's looking for somebody that will communicate his policy effectively to Nigerians. Remember, when Mr. President was doing 1 year in office, part of the conversation then was that they were not telling people enough. And there are people in government. Mr. President started a soul searching, looking for somebody that would do the marketing of his policies to Nigerians. And he found that in Bwala. He said he doesn't want appointment. If he doesn't want appointment, and somebody who wants the appointment said, okay, I am here, and Mr. President offered the appointment to him. So what is his problem? Why is he drinking, carrying another person's headache?
Why do you think there's so much public fury and so much backlash against Mr. Bwala, especially from Mr. Tinubu's supporters?
No, the thing is that there's a conspiracy against all these things, and it is needless.
But I don't understand what you mean. It's a very straightforward
No,
thing.
it's not straightforward.
No, hold on. It is straightforward. It is straightforward to the extent that Daniel Bwala was a clear supporter and opponent of Mr. Tinubu during just a year and a half ago, during the last election. He sat where you sat many times. He repeated allegations against the president in a very voluble, very forceful, very convincing manner. And people are shocked that the same person who had this commitment to the other side and this very convincing, way of trying to get people to, convince them to come over to their own side, is a year and a half later now becoming the spokesman of somebody else.
No, I don't know why people are just making issues out of it. No, let me take you.
You don't think there's something unethical, untoward about it?
There's nothing unethical about it. Let me take you to United States of America, where we borrowed our democracy from. You know J.D. Vance?
Yes,
he ran
I
up
know
to
J.D.
2016 general election in America, presidential election in America. He called Mr. Trump all sorts of reprehensive names. He called him idiots. He said he's reprehensible. And in private, go and look at Reuters. In private, he compared Trump with Hitler.
Yes.
And you know what Hitler represents? Today, the same man that described Trump in those unprintable languages is the same man that accepted to be his vice president. Today, they were elected on that same ticket. I'm coming. The same thing happened to Kamala Harris. When they were doing debates, he ran up to 2020 general election in America. Kamala Harris disagreed with Joe Biden in almost all the policies. The moment Joe Biden won election, that is an end of an era. Then he invited Kamala Harris to come and become the running mate, which she graciously agreed. The last man you interviewed here was the chief marketing officer of P2B. Today, he said that P2B's content about taking Nigeria from consumption to production has no blueprint. How do you say that? Is it because it is Daniel Bwala? They should leave the focus. The focus now should be on Daniel Bwala delivering on the mandate, his current mandate. And that is to market President Tinubu's policies and programs.
Let me take you up on something. You mentioned.
You're watching Nolly Magic TV. My joy is to keep you updated with latest gist. And your joy should be subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up, please.
J.D. Vance.
Yes, I mentioned J.D. Vance. I mentioned
hold on, let's just take one example, J.D. Vance.
Yes.
J.D. Vance made his statements many years ago in 2016. Yes. Let me just make the point. He then came back in 2020 and gave his support, campaign support to President Trump.
Yes.
A lot of people are saying that there was not enough of a time lag between Mr. Bwala being a spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar in 2023, and by 2024, you are suddenly, in fact, even less time, because he was the spokesman even after the elections. And by 2024, you are suddenly the spokesperson of Tinubu. It doesn't look good. People will ultimately perceive Mr. Bwala, as they appear to be doing right now, as someone entirely driven by self-interest and not by principle.
No,
That's the point people are making.
Nigerians are doing cherry picking. I cited a good example of J.D. Vance. It's trending now. Even if he said it 2 million years ago, the fact is that those things he said, he didn't own it up. Those things he said is still there. He didn't say it was not correct. He didn't say so. That for the fact that he made it,
he said he has been convinced by the president's policy.
When you call somebody idiot, when you call somebody's reprehensible, that his conduct is reprehensible.
So you admit then that Daniel Bwala did say some pretty uncharitable things about the president.
He didn't say so. That's why I started by saying they should present those video clips or audio clips or visual.
Look,
where he did it's not enough for somebody to say he made allegations. Allegations, what are those allegations? The other one the man said, the Onokpasa said, is drug. I now said he should present it. I gave him 24 hours to present those video or audio clip or in written form wherein Daniel Bwala, he should present it. He's the one alleging.
I can tell you for a fact.
He's the one, and in law, if you allege, the bonding is on you to prove.
I can tell you for a fact that Daniel Bwala sat many times where you're sitting.
It was based on policy. There was a disagreement based on policy.
Elections,
yes.
And took personal aim at President Tinubu on a variety of things.
This is vague. If you say personal aim, it is vague. Because Daniel Bwala was working with Atiku. You can't deny that fact. Then President Tinubu is in the APC. You can't deny that fact. So what Daniel Bwala was doing is to market Atiku. As at that time, he didn't took any personal fire to President.
He certainly did.
You know, what did he say?
Is it okay for Mr. Bwala? Let me ask you, let me put it another way. Is it okay for Mr. Bwala, as one of the president's spokesmen, rather than being consumed by the president, his public perception and all the rest of it, to now be in a situation where Mr. Bwala himself has become the story, with constant references to what he said previously about the president, and then made this stunning about face from the president's chief opponent to the president's spokesman after all those awful things that were said about, Mr. President. And of course, all the records are there on social media. We have records here as well. It's just impossibly difficult to understand, isn't it? I mean, you have to try and see the position. I understand the point you're making.
No, you didn't understand what the point I'm saying.
I understand the point you're making.
You did not understand it. You did not understand it, Charles. You keep on repeating awful things. And I said, what are those awful things he said about president? So that I will trash it here. Now, people are distracting Bwala.
First of all, I'm not the one speaking on behalf of Justice Ortega.
If they say, the awful thing Ortega said is that Daniel Bwala called Mr. President drug dealer. And I sat here on my own honor and said he should present evidence, because he who alleged should prove. It's not enough for somebody to say you go to social media. Go to social media on somebody's wall.
Well, sorry, finish what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm still coming. Now, all this is distractions. They want to distract Daniel Bwala from the current mandate he has. And what is that mandate? To market Mr. President's policies and programs to Nigerians. And nobody has been able to market it effectively before now. I've watched Daniel Bwala today. Today he was on AIT. He has been on so many fora defending Mr. President's policies. So what I expect the media houses to do, including here, you invite Daniel Bwala, ask him questions on Mr. President's tax policy, ask him questions on Mr. President borrowing, ask him questions on this fuel subsidy removal, floating of naira, and inflation. Let us see whether he has capacity or not to deliver on those mandates.
But that's
not about what he said,
on what he did not say. Not the
now,
issue.
People are now living what the issue. People are now chasing the shadow. He said this. He said that. Now, did Onokpasa say that Daniel is not fit to hold this office, or he has no capacity?
The issue for people is the believability and the credibility of someone who barely less than a year ago was in an opposite camp railing against the president, and a year later is in the president's camp now coming out to try and get people to listen to him. I mean,
but the man that just left your studio now, you interviewed him, I saw you were nodding. The man that just left your studio now, the man that left your studio now was in the same train.
No. You know the thing.
I'm coming now.
Okay,
the man that just left your studio now, don't you know?
He wasn't in the studio, he was in Lagos.
Yes, he was in studio in quote.
Right.
You understand? He's still in studio in Arise TV. If you are not here, you believe that he's here or not. So that's not the issue. The issue is that Doyin Okupe was the marketing officer of P2P. He was the chief marketing officer. He was demarketing Mr. President as at that time. Now, suddenly, what changed?
Yeah,
is it because it's Daniel Bwala? So why are people not making issues with this?
I can assure you that Doyin Okupe we have put him through the ringer many times.
No, did you ask him? But you didn't ask him. This policy of P2B that he was marketing. From consumption to production.
No, that was not the issue tonight.
No, but
if Daniel Bwala was here, I mean, this is a right of reply that you're having tonight to specific allegations made against Daniel Bwala.
Yes.
Okay? That's why you and I are talking about this. Daniel Bwala could easily come here and we could discuss something else. It's not bound to be what it is. But the fact that we're discussing something else, you should have seen the response to Doyin Okupe on YouTube and other things while he was giving that interview. The fact that he's discussing something else. Let me just make the point. The fact that he was discussing something else does not detract from the fact that we're making, which is that people will look at you and wonder whether they can trust what you're saying.
No,
that's really the
most
bottom line.
important thing is that the power of conviction. Does he have the capacity to deliver on the mandate given to him by Mr. President?
It's not about whether he has the capacity. It's about believability.
No. Believability.
It's about believability.
Believability doesn't stay in the air. Believability must be anchored on something. If somebody chooses not to listen to you, like we're having a conversation now, if you choose to turn deaf ears to what I'm saying, so what do? The most important thing is that, does this man have capacity to deliver? The answer is yes. Is he delivering? The answer is yes. Now, you get Onokpasa say he loved Mr. President. Now, during the campaign, I want him to come and tell Nigerians what he did for Mr. President. He said he put Mr. President there. He's from Delta State. Mr. President lost in his polling unit, lost in his ward, lost in local government, lost in his state. Now, he was a member of campaign council. How many times did he appear on the stage campaigning for Mr. President? What did he actually do for Mr. President? Now, Mr. President is looking for somebody to market his policy. He said he's not interested. If you're not interested, allow somebody who is interested to do the job. Is the person who is doing the job doing it right? The answer is yes.
Right.
Is he doing it effective? The answer is yes. Are they distracting Daniel Bwala? The answer is yes. Will they distract him? The answer is no. Because Daniel Bwala is focused. I know him very well.
Okay, one of our analysts said that it is okay for the president to have a large heart and forgive someone like Daniel Bwala for the things Daniel said about him. But going beyond forgiving him and actually rewarding him is perhaps carrying a large heart too far.
No, you see, people see this issue of governance as you invite me to chop, you invite me to chop.
No, it's not about chopping.
No, it's about chopping.
That is why
he said giving you at the end of the day, the man who is complaining in your studio say he's not interested in the job. If he's not interested in the job, it's about chopping.
Well, he feels affronted.
No.
He feels affronted by the fact that someone who was saying a lot of things against the president that he himself supported, Jesse Tega supported, is now being given a job. He feels it's a slap in the face of the president.
Now, did you ask him? The interview was about 30 minutes or thereabout. He had 30 minutes to even expatiate President Tinubu's policy. Did he do it?
Well, he had much less than 30 minutes.
Yes. Did he do it? Even if it's a minute, did he do it? No. He used that program to criticize Mr. President.
Right. Okay.
That was what he did. He said, what did Mr. President do to Igbos?
Anyway.
What did he do to did he do to other Yorubas except Lagos people? What did he? There is no plan. He said Mr. President has no plan. I'm coming now.
No. We've run out of time.
He said Mr. President has no plan.
I'm very sorry, but I have to go because there's another program coming up. Emmanuel Anene, the nominated representative of Daniel Bwala, thank you very much indeed. And Emmanuel Anene is a lawyer. And I don't mean to be rude, but we are indeed out of time. That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja and Lagos. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.
you for having stayed to the end of this video. You made me really happy. One more thing, click on the notification bell so anytime I upload, you will be the first to be notified. See you on the next one.